Yoda lifts these supposed to be boulders and throws them away, which makes Mike believe that
Lucas himself broke his own rules. He's the one who did this, not the new era. That was over the top. Over the top. What? Because why didn't he grab the Millennium Falcon when it was fleeing Hoth? Maybe it's like remember Count Dooku? He was like, and he drops the ceiling rock, big piece of rock down on Yoda, and Yoda's like, woo, woo, and then Sidious is throwing things around. And
so how much did they actually weigh? Well, let's start with their height, which is hard to determine, so let's compare them to Yoda. Yoda is about 2.2 feet tall. From the looks of the boulders, the middle one seems around Yoda's height, if not even a little taller. So let's say that the middle boulder is about 3 feet tall. According to these calculations, a cubic foot of rock weighs, on average, 165.2 pounds. Depending on the type of rock, it may weigh between 143.6 and 186.0 pounds. So that middle rock times by 3, since it's 3 foot, will equals 558.0. So we have about 3 rocks here. The other 2 are quite smaller than the middle one. I'll be generous and consider them the same weight as the middle one. So in total, quite heavy, right?
As you can do the concept of a Force ghost.
Yes. And Yoda lifting the X-Wing out of the ground. The Force, when it's just very subtle, like you can move things.
It would be different if that took a ton of concentration.
That's what I always got out of the original trilogy. It was you have to really focus to lift a rock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Yoda struggled a lot to lift the X-Wing out of the water.
Yeah.
And he's, and that's perfect, but you're right, throwing people.
Okay. Now let's see how heavy Luke's X-Wing from Empire. Wikipedia says it's about 10 metric tons. That's over 2,000 pounds. But since people disagree on the canon states of Star Wars comics, we'll just ignore that. Let's compare it to something realistic like the F-16 Fighting Falcon, an aircraft that was first manufactured in 1972. That aircraft weighs 20,000 pounds. Now, if you want to go full realistic, an X-Wing would probably weigh even more than that, considering it's a spacecraft. So it would be made out of heavier metal that can handle both the pressure of space and the constant traveling through a planet's orbit. That's not counting the armor, the guns, and the equipment. At last, an X-Wing is a lot heavier than a bunch of boulders, or a bunch of politician pots. But go ahead. Blame it on the man who wrote Empire. Blame it on Lucas.
He's the one who did this.